Michelle, let's move on to diet for a bit because that's a big topic, and whenever we
Yeah.
talk about longevity, diet just is at the center of it. Um, but so many diets out there, right? Like we've got the Atkins, Mediterranean, and keto, and I'm guilty of trying everything, but it's so hard to be consistent, especially with our Sri Lankan rice and curry and all of this diet. So can we first talk about diet itself? Is there a one size fits all, or is your diet also customized as, based on the individual? What are your thoughts on that?
That's right. So there's no such thing as one size fits all with diets. I also am not the type to follow one specific type of diet.
Right,
I like combining them or tweaking them.
right,
A lot of the times when these diet programs are created, there's a purpose to all of them, right?
sure,
But what I look at in a diet is the ability of a person to adapt it and stay
right.
on it. Because if I give you a diet and then you despise the diet, it will
Mm,
never work. And then when you
very true.
finish your program, you go back to your crazy
Yeah.
normal routine and it's not going to work. So, and when you say Sri Lankans, actually Sri Lankans have a very good diet. It's just what or what you guys have decided to add along the way, and that goes for all the different cultures.
Mm,
So Asians are really, I mean, the Western world envy the Asians because we look younger. We have, they always say, a better diet, right?
sure.
Sorry, I say we because I'm
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I grew up and was raised in the Philippines, so
Right.
um, our diet is very different. I remember when I was working before, and they would say, it's not fair because you don't stop chewing. And I go, yeah,
Mm,
I love munching. But when you actually eat throughout the day, you don't gain weight because
oh,
your body's metabolism is very high. When
right.
you decide to go on all this, oh, I'll skip my breakfast or I'll skip my dinner and I'll have those big meals, and you don't eat it right, that's when your metabolism slows down.
Okay.
Because your body now is thinking, okay, hold on, he's not eating or she's not eating, let's hold on to fat.
Right.
And, you know, people are thinking, but I only eat one meal a day. Why am I gaining weight? Well, that's because your body is conserving that
Mm,
of fear that you might actually go into starvation. So,
right.
um, what's the best diet? I always go back to again, what are your strengths and your weaknesses?
Sure.
If I have, for example, very sick clients, I always have them do what we call a food intolerance testing. So I understand what foods are causing harm to their body, and
All
we
right.
remove that from their diet. So we remove it temporarily, and then we slowly reintroduce it later on down the track. But when you're rebuilding it, everything that's causing harm, you obviously get rid of.
Right.
Um, and like I always say, the I think the biggest mistake in Colombo is that Sri Lankans love their bread, like love their bread. If we were
Bread
just talking,
tastes really good.
right? Yeah. So if we were just talking about having, let's just say, egg hoppers for breakfast, and then
Right.
you'll have, I don't know if you have your malung for breakfast, because that's one of those things that I love, but
Yeah. Yeah.
have egg hoppers for breakfast. That's actually a good breakfast. That's a complete meal. You've got your protein, you've got a little bit of carbohydrates, you've got your fats, right?
Right.
It's a complete meal. You can add um, I don't know, I always like add fish or meat. I
Sure.
like the whole idea of actually having your biggest meal for breakfast.
Mm,
Especially when you have a very busy schedule at work, you want to make sure that if you do decide to just snack during the day at work, you're already covered with all the vitamins and minerals that you need for breakfast. And then
sure.
again, the other big mistake, and I'm sorry, I just have to say for Sri Lankans again, and Indians are the same. You guys
That's
eat so late, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's the biggest
yeah.
mistake that you can make because when you're eating so late and then you go to bed straight after, you actually don't burn what you've eaten. You now
Yeah.
start just storing that as fat, right?
Right.
So if you just move your schedule so that you're eating, let's just say, as soon as you get out of the house, and then whatever you want to snack again later on, that's fine. But ensuring that you actually have a fair amount of time between food and your sleep ensures that
Right.
you have ample time to actually break it down, digest it properly before you're flat in bed.
Mm.
That's the whole idea. And I always say, if you're not going to do anything anymore in the afternoon, have a soup. Eat
Right.
based on what your activity is. If you're just going to be in the office sitting down and, when you get home, you're just again sitting down, you're not moving, you're not doing workouts, then don't eat big meals because there's
Right.
nothing for that big meal to make it turn into energy. It will
Uh-huh.
just stay there, rot in your gut, and get stored as fat, right? But if you work out every day, you work out in the morning, you work out at night, and you're busy at work, then that's fine. Have a big meal for breakfast,
Sure.
big meal for lunch because you are burning that up, right? So yeah, I don't believe in diet programs. I believe
Sure.
in starting it based on your culture and your
Sure.
lifestyle. So I I've never asked a Sri Lankan, for example, to have a big steak because it's not
Right.
your lifestyle. Fish,
Sure.
seafood, that's what your natural, how do you call it, food is, based
Mm.
on your environment. You're surrounded by water. So your body is designed to actually break down veggies and seafood rather than meats.